I don't know, but for now, I'm willing to give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
Well, honestly, there's one thing that everyone's been attacking the episode for, right? Okay, yeah, I'll see where they're coming from. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's fantastic. It's amazing. What I really liked about it is, even the bad Dalek episodes, there was always something that you go, oh, that's new.
Yeah.
The thing I really loved about this is the way the Dalek controlled the woman.
Yeah.
Now, here's something that I said this, and I actually had an argument with someone on about this recently with our review. They were saying like this is madness. We need the Dalek. This is not a Dalek and all this stuff. I was like, yeah. There's one thing the Doctor had said. This is the very first Dalek who left Skaro.
Yeah, it's like a scout.
And the difference with this Dalek is it's got more capabilities. So that means you've got the bit where it can teleport and reform itself when it wants to in its base form. And I love that. I was going like, well, there you go. But this person was adamant. It was like, no, they're destroying the Dalek. Like, look what they're doing with it now. Like it's going to be these ones. It was like, no, it's a one-off.
But see, here's
that's one thing. Even Doctor Who put up a tweet saying this is a one-off. This isn't going to be the Dalek.
Well, see, like the way I was looking at it was, we've seen the Daleks to death now.
Yeah.
Like, we know what they are. We know what they can do. Time to shake it up a bit. And I appreciated that about the episode where they tried doing something different. Like, I thought seeing the mutant on the wall was straight from like a sci-fi horror movie. It was so grotesque in the way it moved. The reveal that it was on the woman's back, I thought was one of the most perverse pieces of television we've seen in a long time. Where like it's bringing its little tendrils up over her chest.
Yeah,
and it's it's like bad touch, don't do that. Like it was the most uncomfortable piece of television I've watched in a long time. The voice I thought was extraordinary.
There was someone said that's the original Dalek voice. I thought that man.
Is it?
Yeah, apparently he came back. He's back.
No, it's Nicholas Briggs. It's the guy that's been doing it since the Chris Eccleston series.
Yeah, like I thought that it was going to be, from what I heard online, it was going to be a different voice actor.
Yeah, because like he'd been fired or something. But no, it was Nick Briggs was back doing the voice of the Dalek.
Which is good. It's good to know that someone who's really good at
I think
he's
been fired from BBC Worldwide or something like that. He hasn't been fired from the show. He's been fired from the Doctor Who magazine anyway, because he wrote a piece or something like that, and he had like a hidden message in it that wasn't too kind. But yeah, I have a theory when it comes to Doctor Who, which is that a lot of people watch this show and a lot of people judge this show based on other recent shows. Because television as a medium has changed a lot in the last couple of years. The landscape of television is radically different. So you have shows like Arrow and Flash and Supergirl and whatever. You have shows like Game of Thrones and what have you. They all follow a set pattern. Which is, you have a main character that is Daenerys Targaryen or Oliver Queen or Barry Allen or Kara Zor-El or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they're your main character through this adventure. It's all the same showrunners, it's all the same writers, maybe a couple new writers come on board, but at its core, it is fundamentally the same show from its first pilot episode to its season finale. Doctor Who isn't that. Doctor Who, if you kind of break it down, Doctor Who is like a whole bunch of different series connected together through the same elements and the same continuity. So, if you kind of think about it, we have had three versions of Doctor Who since it came back in 2005. We have had the Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant series, which were under Russell T Davies. We have had the Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi era, which was under Moffat. Now, the Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi era are a completely different show compared to the Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant series under Russell T Davies. Same thing applies now, where this is a brand new show. This is Doctor Who, but it is not the Doctor Who from before. So it's a brand new showrunner, brand new head writers, brand new actors, brand new locations, brand new sets. It is a whole new show. So you can't judge this series, like, in all fairness, you can't judge this series based on what came like before it, because it's dramatically different and it needs time to find its feet. So that's why, like, I think with Matt Smith's first series, it was quite strong. So a lot of people kind of thought, oh, this is the same, and it's a follow on, and we can sort of follow this. But with Chris Chibnall, the first series has been quite weak because it is such a radical departure. It's everything's new about this, so you have to sort of judge this as this is a pilot and its first series.
Yeah, give it a chance, basically.
Yeah, so I think give people time to settle into their roles. You'll see a dramatic change.
I just hope that Jodie stays on for until whenever she feels to leave. She leaves after Series 2. And okay, granted, if this is her best performance in Series 2, I'd be happy. But if she leaves after that, I'd be very... why?
Well, I think the writing for the Doctor is quite weak this series. And I
will agree with that.
Hopefully they'll acknowledge that in Series 2.
Well, if you think about the amount of online outcry about it, surely once they'll look at it.
Because the one thing that kind of made me go, what about this entire first series, is that you marketed it as, it's feminism, we're leading the charge here, and finally a female's in the role, and it's progressive, and it's fantastic, and it's wonderful. No, it's not, because all you've done is you've made the Doctor female and pushed her into the background and given all the character development to a white old man. You've given it all to Bradley Walsh.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of this past series of Doctor Who, I can't think of a standout moment for Jodie Whittaker. I can think of several for Graham.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, if you're going to do that, if you're going to market it as this whole big, beautiful new change and new upheaval for Doctor Who, give that good writing not just to Graham, but to Yaz, to Ryan, and especially to the Doctor. And that's something we need to see for Series 2 onward.
But I think they copped on about that, because in this episode, with the Dalek episode, Bradley Walsh was not even in it properly.
No, they left him behind at one point.
They left him behind, and then it was all the Doctor. It was really focused on the Doctor, so I was like, oh, have they just copped on really quickly?
And let's not forget his iconic answering the door moment.
I can't wait. I really hope I get someone I just go, nope.
Beautiful. Nope, bang the door shut. No, I thought it was a really good episode. Structurally, it suffered. There was far too much going on with Graham and his dad.
Yeah,
I like those little scenes though. Or with Ryan and his dad and Graham. I think those scenes went on a little bit too long. Kind of suffered the episode for it. I loved the story with the Dalek mutant on the back of the girl.
Brilliant.
I thought that was fantastic. That was the highlight of the episode. Which was a good thing, because that was what most of the episode focused on. Mm-hmm. I loved the little interaction between Jodie Whittaker's Doctor and the hologram.
Oh, yes,
in the TARDIS, where she gets angry with it because it's laughing at her. So she flips a switch, the TARDIS goes from blue to red, and it's like boom, and the hologram comes up, and it's all kind of like blue and kind of staticky, and she's talking to the Dalek mutant. Then she flips another switch, and it goes to colour, and she's talking to the girl that's been possessed.
Yeah, so there's two.
And I thought,
that was
that's a
cool.
really nice little duality. That's really cool. I think the actual design of this Dalek, they went the wrong way. It should have been this big, thick, chunky menace. It shouldn't have been this little teeny tiny little thing. And I can see what they were going with it, because it's a scrap metal build. Yeah. It's supposed to look kind of weedy and unintimidating until it goes nuts, and there's rockets in the skirt section and everything. And
blowing up a tank.
Blew up a tank after deflecting one of the tank's rockets with one of its own rockets, which was ridiculous, and it was glorious. I thought the ending was very rushed. I think, I've had arguments with people in the comment section over this, where people said, well, no, it made sense that it was Ryan's dad that had the Dalek mutant on his back. No, it wouldn't have made sense if it was Ryan. I was like, well, no, if it was Ryan, the whole point of this story is the dad wants to come back and prove that he's there and he's ready to look after Ryan, basically, and be his dad again. Ryan doesn't trust him. Mm-hmm. So a much more cathartic way to end the episode would have been Ryan gets possessed.
Yeah.
And the Doctor and Graham are trying to save him, and they can't. And it's the dad that makes his way up to the door and goes, take my hand, son, take my hand.
Yeah,
and when Ryan takes his hand, that's him ready to trust him again. Mm. And the dad saves him. The Dalek goes poof and gets blown up by a supernova or whatever it was. And that's them starting to heal the relationship again. With it being the dad and Ryan trying to save the dad,
it was very confusing.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I can see where people are coming from. That was a good idea, because this is Ryan going, oh, wait, hang on. You don't miss the water till the well runs dry. I need to save my dad. Because even though he's been terrible and he's let me down and stuff, I still need to save him because he's still my dad.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the message would have been stronger had it been the other way around, where you have to give your all for your kids.
You were talking about having arguments in the comment section. I love the fact that they always go find me on Twitter and start messaging me private messages.
That's great. They never do that to me.
Here's one that I had they're talking about. It's something that we actually mentioned in our reviews. We've mentioned it a couple of times.
Yeah.
Is sometimes it starts off great, in the middle's kind of messy, and then it's really rushed at the end.
Yeah.
I had a person arguing saying, no, the whole episode's fine. It's like, no, it's not. I says, go back and I says, you know what it is? And I used to suffer from this with Doctor Who. I love it. First time I watch it, love it.
Yeah.
Go back and watch it again.
And you'll defend it.
Yeah, you'll sit there, defend it and
yeah.
stuff. But when you go back and watch it, you're like, oh, that person had a point. So I was like, you've just literally just come back from watching it the first time. You went straight from watching it to watching our review, and you got really offensive about it. And
though for most of it, like we were really positive about the episode.
No, surprisingly, we weren't bad for this episode. We were actually going, this is good.
Yeah.
And we weren't picking out the problems with it. Yes, it had problems. You can't turn around and say it was perfect. It was rushed at the end. It feels like the writers are sitting going, how do we end this?
Yeah, and how do we give a meaningful resolution to not only the Dalek storyline, but also the storyline with Ryan and his dad?
But you can agree with me, that last couple of minutes was rushed.
Yeah, it was like, boom, done.
Yeah, get rid of the dark goes, do-do-do, right, off we go, marry Lee away in time and space.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I think for Series 2, or this next series with Jodie, is if they fix that, and don't rush the end of it, and just not too slow, but just a nice rhythm to it, I think it'd be brilliant.
I remember whenever I was doing my screenwriting course, and they were saying that you have to have your Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. Act 1 is your beginning, Act 2 is your action, Act 3 is your resolution.
Yeah.
And she put this diagram up on the board. It was like, Act 1 was like fairly short, Act 2 was the longest act, and Act 3 was like this little tiny bit at the end. She went, as long as it resolves everything in the storyline, it can be as short or as long as it needs to be. And I was sitting looking at it going, well, like, surely you want everything to be nice and neat and everything to be roughly around the same length. Yeah. So I think, like, maybe there's a problem with that whenever it comes to them writing, where they go, okay, we need our resolution to be super quick, otherwise people won't pay attention.
I think what they do, or what I'm thinking I'm getting from is they rush all their ideas at the start, and then there's no like end to it. They're like,
yeah,
that's a fantastic idea. It's a really great idea.
Well, see,
how are we going to end this?
I think the thing is they take too long to like set things up and build things up.
Yeah.
So then by the time you get to the end, you're like, oh no, we've only got 5 minutes to resolve all this. Boom.
Yeah.
And it's done.
And another thing too that and you brought it out in our review, and it shocked me too. I didn't even think about it. This is the first time a Dalek's actually got on to the TARDIS.
The TARDIS, yeah.
And technically was in command of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, no, because the first thing came into my head was like, no, Dark has been on this before because the Dark landed in Parting of the Ways.
Yeah.
Like, no, but
that's because the Doctor brought it on board whenever it landed on top of it.
And then it was like, oh yeah, this makes sense. And then I was trying to go through,
and it was immediately killed anyway. Like Captain Jack shot it in the face.
And I was going through all my like classic era all through my head, going, has the Dark ever went into it? No, a Dark has never got into the ship.
Yeah.
The only time a Dark's ever been in the ship is Parting the Way, has got destroyed through the way. This is the first time a Dark was actually in command of the TARDIS. And even he says it himself, like, we're now control the TARDIS and we'll have this machine. And you're like, that's great, mate, how'd you go?
Yeah. Supernova,
but you know,
moron.
The worst thing you said and stuck in my head now, right? He didn't die in that supernova. He's sitting destroying a rock going, all rocks are enemies of the Dalek. That's in my head now. This Dalek just really frantically trying to break a rock.
Rand standing next to it high as a kite.
I don't think that thing's dead. I think that will come back somehow.
Yeah.
Like, you thought you killed me. Who are you again?
I'm Squid McGee.
Yeah. Though, I will say one thing. Do you have hopes for the next series?
I'm keeping my expectations low.
Are you looking forward to it?
I am looking forward to seeing it back because there are some characters and some elements in it that I really like. I love Graham. I love Bradley Walsh.
Amazing.
If I could, I would have him just be the companion from now on. No matter who's playing the Doctor. So say like Chibnall goes, Jodie Whittaker goes, I want Graham sticking around.
Yeah, because I think we said it in film there before that apparently those who were leaving for the next series.
That was a rumour. That's the rumour. But
right.
We don't know. Like, we don't know if the BBC has damage control for the series or not, or if they're just going to let things be.
Right. Okay.
But there's a lot of sort of behind the scenes shenanigans and stuff that goes on with any TV show. So
I don't see it working out with Yaz.
No, it'll be terrible.
I jokingly said that on our review, and it did happen. The Doctor walks through the TARDIS. He's like, "What happened, Doctor?"
No, it doesn't even acknowledge her. Because I went back to watch that scene again. Like, she walks on the TARDIS and, like, Yaz goes, well, where is it? Where's the Dalek? completely blanked.
Sorry, what?
Ryan goes, "Oh, is the Dalek on?" And